Now, marketing activities. So you want to create more predictability and credibility in your real estate business. We already went over the predictability piece when it comes to prospecting and the importance of prospecting as well. Now we're going to talk about building out that credibility. But you do need both. You need lead generation prospecting and marketing activities as well in order to really build to create predictability and credibility. But marketing tends to help you a little bit more when it comes to that credibility piece. So, at the heart of your lead generation program is a large, powerful contact management database. So, we already talked about setting up a database and also feeding it regularly, daily, right? That was in the beginning when we talked about your database and building one up. But you also need, at the heart of your lead generation program, should be some powerful marketing activities to essentially help you enhance your prospecting. And we already talked about the difference at the end of the lead generation and prospecting section. We talked about the difference between prospecting and marketing, but we also talked about like those pros and those cons with and the reasons why you need both, right? So you need to be setting up a powerful marketing plan for your database, aka your data bank. And you want to develop according to a systematic plan by definite process. So we're going to go over that systematic plan that you should have set up. So prospecting activities, we're going to go over this again because real estate is a contact sport, guys. We talked about this in the lead generation section in the beginning. Real estate sales is a closed contact sport. And real estate sales is a frequent and systematic closed contact sport. And this is essentially how you can create that predictability and that credibility so you're not in a roller coaster business for all the agents that are experiencing that. And for the new agents, start off on the right foot correctly with these marketing activities that we're going to go over in that lead generation section that we just went over. So when you market yourself to your audience, it needs to be systemized such that your audience is touched numerous times in a consistent fashion. So I gave you guys these activities, these different ways that you can be reaching out to your lead sources and also finding additional ways to find lead sources and the activities you can be doing. So feel free to download this right here on the right hand side. Feel free to download this if you haven't already from the lead sources section. And also those 105 ways, right, that you can be prospecting to get leads or just the different ways to find leads, basically. Also, I'm going to help you really build out that credibility piece and that predictability more, further predictability amongst your database and even your online leads as well, or people that essentially maybe you haven't, maybe you just met as well. Remember, real estate is 15% technical, so you don't have to be overly skilled to build credibility. A client's determination to work with you typically comes down to trust, guys. Will you be that true advocate for them to fulfill the fiduciary duties that they need, right, for their transaction? So how do you build trust amongst your database is the million-dollar question. So let's start off with a few simple questions about how do you build trust amongst your family? Think about it. How do you build trust amongst your friends? And how do other people build trust with you, guys? So it's a little bit simpler than you think. And I actually touched on this a couple of times. I've given you guys the answer in the other sections. If you were really paying attention, you should be able to answer these questions pretty easily, pretty quickly. And I want to reiterate this again. A client's determination to work with you typically comes down to trust, guys. And how do you build that trust? Essentially, that credibility. Number one is consistency. I said this numerous times. Consistency is key when it comes to building trust. The same way it comes to building trust with you or your family or your friends, consistency is huge, guys. Being consistent. And I'm going to go back to the example that I brought up when I talked about a business. When it comes to being a business owner, you cannot open your doors when you feel like it. And you cannot close your doors when you feel like it. Why? Because you're going to lose clients. They're not going to trust that you're going to be in business, nor can you give them, the value or whatever it is that they're trying to get because you're always closed or you're closing sporadically at random times. Would you do business with somebody that's not showing up consistently or a business that's not opening up consistently? You wouldn't, I hope not. They're not going to be in business long anyways. And again, this also comes back to scheduling. So you see how everything that we touch bases on is kind of coming full forward, right? Number two is providing value as well. You have to provide value. So we're going to talk about how you can provide value and further in this section. We're going to really kind of dive deep on some of the activities and stuff that you can be doing and building deeper rapport. We got to remember that this is a relationship business. At the end of the day, it's really about building deeper relationships, building relationships with people in general. And if you could build a deeper rapport, you're going to be able to build credibility so much faster, not just with your initial database and people that already know you, like you, and trust you, your SOI, but with new people that you enter into your database or new people that you just meet. These are the ways that you can kind of speed up that process. And hopefully, essentially, the goal is for them to work with you sooner or at least start to refer you business. But you have to do all three of these things so you can kind of build up that credibility faster. All right. So the thing you need to be doing is stop selling and really start helping people, guys. Okay. Of course, you let me mute. Actually, let me go ahead and get rid of my camera real quickly. I want to make sure that you guys fully internalize this message right here. So stop selling and start helping. Of course, you know absolutely nothing about real estate or a particular niche. So you know that you must get training in the beginning, right? You must become resourceful. And of course, you must be competent, but you don't need to be overly skilled to start making your calls and to be a producing agent. Like I mentioned previously, much of what you learn, you will be learning through experience. Some things you will learn in advance. And you definitely need to, like I said, be that resourceful person, but you don't need to know everything. A client's determination to work with you typically comes down to trust, guys. Will you be a true advocate for them? Trust is a lot more important than skill set in most sales industry. Majority of agents in the beginning are getting their business strictly off of trust because they do not have enough hands-on experience to truly book clients just off of their knowledge. So I want you to remember that, guys. So if you're a new agent, we're going to stop that. We're going to kind of kill some of those thoughts that's coming in your head is that, well, I am not getting clients because I don't have the skill set, because that's not true. They're not working with you because they don't trust you. That is the truth. And you need to build up credibility, not just amongst people that you newly met that don't really know you, but also amongst your database. You need to be building up credibility that you are a competent realtor, right? That you are the go-to realtor. They need to view you as the real estate professional, not just their friend, okay? Not just their family member or friend. And again, in the beginning, most agents are really getting business because of the trust factor. They're not getting it because of their knowledge or experience, because you truly don't know as much as you think you know until you start really doing deals and you've had X amount of deals underneath your belt. Even then, you'll come across transactions and you'll have deals that you're like, oh my goodness, I've never experienced this before. So that's the reason why you need to understand new agents or agents that's not in a lot of production. You're not getting clients. You're not getting clients because your skill set. You're not getting it because they don't trust you. Okay. So remember this, internalize it, and even pause and write this down if you need to.